All right, so check it out. I've officially been left unsupervised for an entire week, and I have a project. We're going to turn an ordinary dining room into the home of Cincy Dzines. I'm Dave with Cincy Dzines, and here's what we're going to do. Ready? Lighting, terrible. Mirror from the 1970s, 86th. Random tables, out of here. Miscellaneous IKEA desk, gone. Apparel printer, well, that's gonna stay because this right here, my friends, is the stuff that makes the money. Natural light, we're gonna definitely keep all that. Drab, disgusting paint, yeah, that's gonna go too, along with all the chair rail. So what you're gonna find when I'm done, countertops on both sides, storage, both sides, a nice computer nook right there, and probably a few more surprises along the way. Definitely a few more surprises along the way. So first step, we gotta clear out this entire room. Yep, all this stuff's gotta go. And since I'm here by myself, guess who's doing it? That's okay. Okay, so remember, do not leave your X-Tool apparel printer unplugged for a long period of time. So we're gonna loosen those jam nuts down there on those little extension legs so this thing can roll around because I'm by myself and it's heavy. Well, that didn't take too long. But now, we gotta throw out this carpet. So now always remember, safety first. Probably should have been wearing these when I was tearing the carpet up, but hey, we're here. And they are steel toe. Okay, so all the staples are out, tack strips are out, carpet's ready for some bags, and hopefully our trusty garbage folks will take this on Wednesday. We need to kind of figure out what we're gonna do here. So now that I can see the thickness of the floors, I can figure out what kind of flooring I'm gonna put in. So that was kind of the next step. Oh, side note, not a licensed flooring guy. I guess that'd be a thing. Licensed general contractor, maybe? Yeah, that should be it. If you flooring folks out there are looking at this and you're like, man, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing... just keep in mind, I've done a lot of home improvement projects over the course of my life. They always turn out pretty good. Are they 100% correct? Probably not. Are they up to code? I really don't change anything with structure. And a quick little clean off the printer brake, or printers. Did you just say, what's he doing with the torch? Well, another video. While we're waiting for this to heat up, did you 3D printer folks just say, oh my God, he threw away filament? Well, guess what? Filament is mostly less than a penny a gram. At least the stuff I use it. Elegoo, PETG, mostly. Times money, which means I'm getting ready to go upstairs and make this list for the old Home Depot. I'm not sponsored by Home Depot, thank God. Maybe that would work out. Anyway, I don't want to have to come back down here and change the spool. And I don't have an AMS on the A1. The only one I don't have an AMS on. Maybe someday, but the AMS Lite, not a fan. So I'll just waste my 4 cents for the filament and move on with life. All right, let's go. So here we are. We're not doing bad. Not happening as fast as I would like it to, but really does anything. So we're making a list. We're going to Home Depot. We got to make the first trip. The flooring, probably the lighting, maybe even the electrical. We'll see on this, but definitely need to get some contractors back, some other miscellaneous. So definitely some garbage bags to spell it right. Garbage bags to start. Need to figure out the square footage of the room. We're gonna need some quarter round because I'm not taking up the base molding. I'm just gonna go right up against it, and this is gonna be a floating floor. We need some underlayment, not underpayment. That's never good. Flooring pad, great. Shoot, this might be a quick trip. And we're off. But first, we gotta stop at the post office and drop some stuff off. Gotta get to the people that are waiting. All All right, so we've reached the point of this project where the good plans that we had go by the wayside, but we may have a better plan. So I've got to make up 19 millimeters for the natural hardwood, or hardwood, whatever you want to call it, that's in the entryway. It's pretty thick. I wasn't expecting that. But once I tore up the carpet, I found it. The right way to do it is to put down this here underlayment, which is 1/4 inch OSB, which equals 6.8 millimeters. Okay, and then we got this here flooring, which it says it's 12 millimeters. It's not. It's actually 11.48. Let's call 11.5. Now, if you do the math, because I already have, because I couldn't wait, it's about a 1/2 millimeter shy of 19, which means if somebody walks into my house and says, you got a 1/2 millimeter difference between your entryway and your craft area, you look them straight in the eye. Before you throw them out of your house, punch them in the throat. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not good. It's not good for business. So yeah, the other crappy part about this is I got to get all that to the other side of the house. Let me show you. Now, I'm not sure what the distance of a country mile is, but I feel like it's close. So boys and girls, time to get our steps in. Unit else I conveniently forgot about. I got to haul this stuff to the back. Yeah, the country mile we were just talking about, we got to do it twice. Or 6 times back and probably, oh, I don't know, 24 times coming this way. Guess we better get our butts in gear. I'm gonna give you folks a little tip. When you're looking at your subfloor, those are 4x8 sheets of plywood. Probably tongue and groove, all that good stuff. For you contractors out there, critique all you want, you know, it's all good. Anyway, you'd be really tempted to follow those grid lines and just measure out those pieces and match exactly the same pattern. Don't do it. You wanna go perpendicular to what's already there. So, since everything is running across the room this way, we're going to go this way. That way none of the joints line up. If none of the joints line up, we got less chance of it creaking. However, we got something for that too.
Our secret weapon, liquid nails. First we measure and cut out anything that we need to on the board, and then we put our liquid nail down. Carefully making sure that we press every inch of that board down, then we screw every edge and in the middle. Next we're going to measure for our second piece because we want to get as many full pieces in as we can before we have to start cutting. See, again, we've got our liquid nail going down. Delilah's checking us out to make sure we're doing a good job. And we're back to the fastening portion of today's program. And it's at this point I notice this is about as easy as it's going to get.
Well, sports fans, the good news is 64 square feet are down, AKA 2 sheets. And those are the only full sheets I'm gonna get in this room. So yeah, time to go outside, set up them sawhorses. Well, that's a successful subfloor. But you know, there comes a time in all of our jobs, whether it's laser engraving, whether it's DTF, hope to be the new Omni or the 01 Omni here soon, where it's moment of truth time. Did all of your math and all of your planning actually work? Well, let's see. I don't know. It looks like it's gonna be pretty close to me. I'm gonna bring you in closer for a better look. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there warms my heart because that means that I can still add even though I used a calculator. But hey, that's success. That means we can move on to the beauty part where we start to lay this flooring. We're gonna have some trials and tribulations here because we've got a few crazy angles. I think it's gonna go pretty well and I really like the color. I dig it a lot. All right, gang, here's where we're at. I was getting ready to start flooring and I started to think, I really don't want to cut into my new flooring without knowing exactly where my rough and electric's gonna go because we're putting those floor outlets down there. So I figured it's like 10:30 at this point. Have me a little din-din, some raviolis, delicious. Meat raviolis, by the way, because you needed to know that. I figure it's time to get rid of this ugly monstrosity of a light fixture, do something a little bit nicer. Really not gonna do anything special. Got a little track lighting here from the Hampton Bay. Not affiliated with Hampton Bay, Home Depot, any of that. Home Depot is just really close. Like it's literally a 3-minute drive for me to get there. Did I pay a little more than I probably should have? It's possible. Is it the best stuff in the world? No, absolutely not. But is it absolutely serviceable and does the job? And I saved a bunch of time by just running to Home Depot real quick and not ordering something off Amazon or going to a lighting decor place. We're just gonna go basic. And it's gonna be black on a white ceiling, so it kind of stands out. It should be cool. Put you guys over here in the corner, do a little time lapse, and watch me go to work.
So first we got to take down this ugly thing. And of course I did make sure that all the power was off to the light before I pulled it down. Prep the box and get everything ready for the new track lighting. And of course, here comes the really difficult part when you're by yourself, as hanging an 8-foot track without any help. So I'm measuring to make sure that everything is square to the side wall. The good thing about it being 8 foot long is I could kind of swivel it back and forth to put the anchors in and then secure it with the screws. But here we are. We've got everything up and I'm starting to test lighting. Came out pretty nice.
And just like that, we have light. Probably get into bed and a few more fixtures. I don't know. That does a pretty good job of illuminating this place a whole lot more than what that other thing did. I guess it was a dining room, so all good. Well, I wasn't really expecting this last night, but I had trouble sleeping. I was so excited to get back in here and do flooring today. I actually decided that's not the direction I'm gonna go. Still gotta do the electric in the floor. Still need to do some painting. And I feel like the painting piece needs to happen before the flooring goes down. Probably smart, right? Especially since we're doing some kind of a black or dark gray. Haven't really decided yet. So yeah, electric now, and then maybe it's time to go back to the store. So we went to Home Depot, we got paint. Ended up going with gray. Carry out the theme through everything. It's gonna be black on the bottoms, butcher top countertop, gray up to the crown mold. Doors will stay wide, all the receptacles will stay wide. I think it'll give it a pretty nice contrast to the really dark floor that we're gonna put in here. So the plan is gonna be, we're gonna get this whole thing painted today. And hopefully tomorrow weather is a little bit better, or maybe it'll clear up later today. I can go get the lumber or the MDF sheets so that I can start building all of the storage. Paint, then we're gonna do floor, then we're gonna build the storage. This one over here might be in 2 pieces, but this one over here is only gonna be about the width between these 2 windows. Actually, where I have the camera right now, if you think about the early part of the video, that's in the computer nook. So the computer nook won't have any storage underneath it. May do something over here in this little corner right here, because all of my storage is gonna be 12 inches tall and at least 12 inches wide to accommodate a basket for an order. That way we've got a good flow as we're walking around the room. One of the surprises I talked about in the intro of the video, in the middle, there's gonna be some type of a roll around table. Center of the room is exactly right here. And if you look, we've got these 2 cutouts right here for electric receptacles. Those 2 receptacles, one is going to have a dedicated 20 amp circuit. The other is gonna have a dedicated 20 amp circuit. And then over here, we've got another dedicated 20 amp circuit that's going to run the printer and the shaker oven for the X-Tool apparel printer. So everything will have plenty of power. We won't have to worry about tripping breakers. We won't have to worry about being in the middle of workflow and something goes sideways.
So I had a really cool video, or at least I thought it was going to be really cool, where I made the camera follow me as it was doing a time lapse. Well, I completely messed that up. It didn't turn into a time lapse, it turned into a raw video. And I was getting motion sick just watching it. So we're jumping ahead a little bit. I've already trimmed out all of the trim. I think there's a pun intended there. And now I'm rolling on the first, which turned out to be the only coat needed to cover all this up.
Well, did I mention I hate painting? Well, it wasn't too bad. By now you see me crawling around on my hands and knees and doing all kinds of craziness. But I had to say, it looks like it turned out pretty good. I do like the gray. Thinking about going like black on the bottom, red on top, but I think it was just gonna be too much craziness going on. As it dries, find out if everything covered really well, but that's the end of day 2. I think our plan for tomorrow is gonna be, I feel like every time I say flooring, but it never seems to happen. If the weather cooperates, well, I've got a scuba class in the morning. I'm a scuba diver, DM in training, by the way. Any future scuba divers out there, look up Cincy Scuba, free plug. If you're already a scuba diver and you live in the Ohio area, Cincy Scuba, place to be, especially Southwest Ohio. But Gilboa Quarry, that's where we do most of our training. So get past that in the morning. Lumber means it's time to start building shelving units. We're gonna do the butcher block on top. It's gonna look hot. I'm tired. Haven't packed anything for the class tomorrow, so guess I'll be getting up early to do that, but here's a little look around.
All right, morning of day 3, officially Sunday, but today is pool day for start of a confined waters class for Nowie, and today is my dive master pool skills, which means I'm gonna swim my butt off. I'm gonna have to do a bunch of crazy skills that we have to teach students, and yeah, I don't even remember. It's a lot. Basically, I get in the water, instructor tells me what they need me to do. I've done these skills, I don't know, tons and tons of times. Just say it should be natural at this point. But I am tired. Between the life-saving caffeine, protein, carbs, got a little mixture of water and Gatorade this morning. Yeah, we're gonna get this done. When we come back, it's time. Weather's nice. Probably gonna go get some lumber and start building some shelving units today. Who knows? Maybe we'll actually get to some flooring. We'll see. I'm promising that for like ever. Hey, why do scuba divers roll backwards out of the boat? You divers just rolled your eyes. I heard it. Because if they rolled forward, they'd still be in the boat. All right, going to get this done. See you guys in a few.
All right, so here's where we're at. Passed on my DM skills today. That's wonderful. Made a trip to the old Lowe's because they had the 8 and 10 foot butcher block countertops that we needed. Decided that I couldn't get the 3/4 MDF at Lowe's because they wouldn't bring the forklift over. Sorry, Lowe's, you missed out on about 400 bucks. But the MDF's gonna be for the cubicle shelving units over here and the cubicle shelving units on this side. As you can see, I've finished the rough end of the electric here in the floor, and there's one more right underneath the stand where the camera is. So right where you're at is where the apparel printer is going to be. Right here is a dedicated 20 amp outlet to a clamshell press. Right here will be a dedicated 20 amp outlet for our automatic press. There's also a 15 amp circuit that feeds power to each one of the 5 duplex receptacles around the room. We'll have 60 amps of available single phase 120 volt power, and we'll have another 15 amps of single phase 115 volt power to the walls. That's a lot of power. If we have trouble in this room tripping breakers, I don't know what to do. So our lighting's done, our flooring's ready to go down, the walls are painted, everything looks good, it's covered. Now, guess what time it is? It's actually flooring time. Because, like I said, I couldn't get the MDF at Lowe's, and I'm not going to Home Depot today. Had enough hardware stores for a couple of days. It's Sunday evening, it's about 6:30. It's time to start putting some flooring down. That's what I've been excited about this entire time. I'm gonna leave you right where you are. I'm gonna start way down here against this threshold. I'm gonna put my T-track down for the eventual threshold to here. I'm gonna put my T-track down for the eventual threshold here. And I'm gonna start working my way across this room until I get to you. And once I get to you, I'm gonna move you over here. We got a standard 12 millimeter thick engineered laminate flooring that's got the backer already on it. So we don't have to put down any foam rolling or anything crazy like that. All we have to do now is carry the boxes in, start laying floor. It should go pretty quick. Fingers crossed, we'll have flooring today.
As you're about to see, this took a little bit of time to get started, but if you really pay attention to the first few courses and make sure that you are straight, you're going to end up in a much better position when you're getting close to the end. It looks like it's going really fast, but if you paid any attention to the sunlight changing positions across the floor, this took a while. Once I got to the middle of the room, I really started to move quick, and things really started to take shape. I love the color, I love the way the flooring was going down, and all of the seams in this particular pergo flooring, they came together nicely.
Well, as you can see, it took a little while to get started. Here we are. Things are looking pretty good. I'm liking how the floor is going down. You folks that do this flooring for a living, you might see that I made a giant mistake. If you know what it is, drop it in the comments. We're living with it. I mean, we're here. So far, so good. I like the colors. I like the way it's coming out. Once the shelving and everything's against the walls, you really won't see much of the seams at all. Anything that doesn't have a storage unit over it, it's gonna get quarter round. So it's gonna look like a real nice trimmed out room when it's all done. Technically, this is the end of day 3. Unfortunately, tomorrow, or fortunately, maybe, I don't know, depends on how you look at it, time to go back to work. Gotta pick up a few tools in the morning, gotta do a little work. We'll resume tomorrow, probably afternoon, evening sometime. I think I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I know it's not done. I mean, you can tell by all the tools and stuff, dirt around, but I couldn't wait. So we're in the middle of the floor. You can see there's 2 of them for the brass plates. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Watch this. Ha, instant outlet, ta-da!
So I kind of just got after it after I got home from work on Monday, and I'm going to give you guys a pro tip. The little red-handled thing that I had is too short when you're trying to beat some of this flooring together with a hammer, because it leaves little indentations in that flooring and it messes up the edges. So the 2x4 that you see, that's the key. It spreads out the pressure from that hammer smack and it doesn't mess up the edges of the flooring. So don't spend $24 on a little fancy plastic thing from the hardware store. And now that our flooring is going to be all finished, we're going to get into the shelving and storage units. I don't know if you guys use AI for a lot of things, but I sure do. And it kicked out a couple of really nice drawings complete with cut lists for all the MDF. We made a small change to this one. You'll see what it is when we get to it, but it was kind of a happy accident.
All right, gang, here's what we got. It is shelf building time. Storage shelves. So I'm gonna start with the little guy over here. It's only gonna be about 46 inches wide by 40 inches tall because I want that finished countertop height to be at 42 inches. I'm gonna refine all my processes on this one, and then I'm gonna tackle the big guy. It's gonna be over here. It's gonna be about 7 feet long. The countertop's gonna go all the way from where this door opens, which is almost exactly 8 feet, all the way to this wall. I'm gonna hold the bottom storage unit about a foot off the wall because I don't wanna block that receptacle. The first order of business was to check level on all of this chair molding. This chair rail molding is actually pretty level. And this might shock you, but the floor is actually pretty level. My bubble was never outside the line. We're gonna use the chair rail as our guide. It's almost exactly 6 inches from the top of the chair rail to 40 inches where the top of the cabinet's gonna be. Which means everywhere that I don't have cabinet and I have to put a catch for the countertop, I'm just gonna rip a 6-inch strip of MDF, the same stuff we're gonna build the shelving units out of. We're gonna set it right on top of the chair molding, and then we're gonna lay the countertop over top of it. Something new that I've never done before and I'm gonna learn are pocket holes. Pocket holes, they're holes that are kind of in the wood that are sort of like a diagonal pocket that a screw goes into and it hides the screw. Why do this versus say brad nailing or some other process? It's just the method I'm choosing. A lot of cabinet makers do it, so I'm kind of keying off of what they already do. Why reinvent the wheel when places like Craig make amazing pocket hole jigs that we can use as DIYers? So I'm going to start measuring and pre-cutting all of my 3/4 inch MDF for this cubby on this side. This one over here is going to have a total of 6 cubby holes, but they're gonna be wide enough that they should accept 2 of our 12-inch, roughly 11-inch wide baskets in each one. So the storage will be very versatile on both sides.
I didn't think you guys really wanted to watch me rip down all of this wood, so I went ahead and skipped all of that ugly work outside while I was sweating to death in the 95-degree heat. What you're watching here is I'm putting together the corner using the red 90-degree clamps. These things are a lifesaver when you're working by yourself. They allow me to clamp the corners, put almost all of the pocket screws in, remove the clamps, and then finish putting the last 2 screws in that were covered by the clamps. You can see better here those little holes in between the clamps, and you'll watch me put the screws in here in just a second. But I'm taking great pains to make sure that each one of those corners is lined up before I clamp it down hard. So I removed the clamps, put the last 2 screws in, and now I'm going to start on what's going to turn into the bottom of the cabinet. I'm using some 3/4 inch MDF scraps to kind of hold the whole thing up off the ground. That way I can get that bottom clamp on without too much hassle. You can see I can move pretty quick. This really didn't take too much time. But just a little bit of extra care right now saves a whole lot of headache later, knowing that everything is flush and nice and plumb when I put it up against the wall. Now I'm going to stand it up straight and get ready for the next step. And if you see the clamps on each side, I'm using some more scrap pieces of 3/4 inch MDF that I've cut as spacers on each side, and those clamps are holding that in place. So I don't have to try and get a shelf exactly in the right place. Those spacers are doing the work for me. Now if you notice, I've made a little change here. Instead of having 3 rows of 3 cubbies, I'm now going to have 3 rows of 2 cubbies for a total of 6. Why did I do that? Well, I just found out that I really didn't need to put those extra supports in. So we eliminated a little bit of work, and even though I had already cut those supports, I'm willing to set those aside in the scrap pile for later. So I get everything screwed together, and then it's time to slide in the middle shelf. Repeat the process a few more times and move on to the top shelf. Slide the last center divider in, get it all lined up using my speed square and a little bit of measuring, and then go ahead and put the rest of those pocket screws in. After this, we're done, and we are ready to slide it back against the wall.
Well, sports fans, there it is. I got a few notches to make in the back because, like I said, I'm not taking off that chair rail. When the day comes that we want to move, all we have to do is pull the butcher block off, pull the cabinets out, and I didn't glue any of this because of all the pocket screws. So all we have to do is unscrew it, take the wood out of here, and reassemble it somewhere else. So now I'm gonna put it back on its front, and I'm gonna make my notches. Nothing really to it. Mark them, cut them. Oh, heavy, capital H, heavy. Looks like we got something. Pretty much it right here. Gonna be some black paint, gonna be some clear coat. I thought I was gonna have to cut these butcher block countertops. It just so happens that when I take the cardboard off of this one, it's gonna have about a 1/4 inch of clearance between it and the door. And this side over here, happy accident.
Next, I drilled some holes in the corners and in a couple of spots along the back of the countertops so that cords could be guided down through and eventually to some power strips. And once again, it's time for my least favorite activity, painting. But it really didn't go so bad. I ended up putting 2 coats on the ends and 2 coats on the wear surfaces where the baskets will go. All in all, not so bad, and it does really make these shelves look nice. Do you remember how I made sure that I had no power to the lights when I was putting up the track lighting? Well, I couldn't find the breaker for these receptacles anywhere, so I did what any electrician does, treat every wire like it's live, because it is. But it was time for some new decor receptacles and plates. And now it was time to start working on the computer nook, one of what's probably going to become one of my favorite places in the workshop. I had already pre-measured and found all of my studs and put some plumb lines with the holes measured for the mounting brackets that are going to go on the back of the monitors. Using a properly sized drill bit, I pre-drilled the holes, and with a little bit of help from my buddy the impact driver, I went ahead and snugged these down. I left the top one a little bit loose just so I get the bottom one started. You want to make sure that you don't over tighten your lag bolts, you just need them snug. There's plenty of threading holding these things into that stud in the wall. We simply snap our cover plates on to hide those lag bolts, and we are finished with the installation of our mounting brackets for the monitors. I'm not sure if you can really tell by the look on my face or the fact that I'm not wearing my hat, but I'm excited for this project, but I am definitely ready for it to be finished. So now it was time to get the polyurethane out and start really bringing these butcher block countertops to life. All of our holes were cut. Everything that wasn't needing to be mocked up above the countertops was pretty much finished. So it was time to finish these babies up and really make them shine. The object was to try and match the butcher block countertops in color as close to the work table in the middle as possible. And I might be biased, but I think I nailed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today's the day we've been waiting for. It'll be the last day of the biggest part of this build. The countertops are polyurethane, everything's in the room as far as the furniture goes, and you can hear the plastic crunching beneath my feet. We're gonna get the plastic off the ground, and we're gonna start assembling all the final pieces. And lo and behold, it's sunny outside right now. Countertops get screwed into position finally. If you haven't noticed, I've left the countertops loose so that I can move them around and I'm not trying to polyurethane up against walls and all that. So that's always kind of my last step on a build like this. I am ready to wrap this thing up. Tiffany's gonna be back tomorrow, maybe sometime in the early morning. So I have challenged her to not look in this room until I wake up. Do you think she can do it? We may set up a little booby trap for her. I've got some Eufy cams around the house, and one of them sits downstairs by the 3D printers. We may put one of those in here. And if she comes in the middle of the night, because she's really not gonna get home until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm definitely not gonna be up, because I have a feeling I'm gonna be up maybe a little late tonight, just doing all the finishing stuffs, cleaning up, all that, because the house is a freaking wreck. No, I'm not gonna show you. We're not, you don't wanna see, it's bad, you don't wanna see that. Let's get to it.
So here we are setting up the monitors in the computer nook. This is definitely going to be my favorite spot, because this is where I would spend most of my time. Getting that docking station put together, getting all the monitors hooked up, making sure all of our wire management is on point, because nobody likes to see messy wires. Next is our little printer for printing all of the important stuff. I've already put our table in the middle of the room with the clamshell press, and here comes the auto press. And on to the hat press. It's the Duo Forge from Patch Crafters. I just recently had a chance to use this, and I have to say, I love it.
Well, here it is. World headquarters of Cincy Dzines. I think it turned out pretty dang good. Definitely a few surprises along the way, like we talked about. Couple of happy accidents, couple of not so happy accidents, but it worked out. Here we are. So a little tour around the room for you. Got our little Epson printer here for the basic stuff. All of our storage for our inks, our films, everything for the Apparel printer, the cleaning supplies, all right here. Our nice little computer station, nice comfy chair, just the right height for working, plenty of screen area. Of course, we've got the Apparel printer right back in its home. Our adjustable workstation in the middle for both of our presses. I do think this is going to be Tiffany's favorite part of the entire room. I did play with the lights a little bit, and we've got a little bit of a dark spot right in the middle, but when you're standing at the press, you can see. It's amazing. The auto press, tons of light to see what you're doing. Back over here in the corner, we got our little station from when we put our logo in the neck tag of shirts. Got our little tiny handheld iron. Got our Duo Forge hat press. So that's it. Appreciate you guys hanging with me. Drop any questions down in the comments below and I will return them with as much speed as possible. If you'd like to know anything about the tools that I used, the methods that I used, any of the designing that I've done, anything at all, let me know. I'll be happy to talk to you. So, now it's time to get to work. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dave with Cincy Dzines. Hope you guys have a great day.
Tiff took a little longer to get home than she thought, and she's exhausted. But I did remember to put the camera in there to capture her reaction.
Oh yeah, I like the lights. They're so cool.
Oh, cool.
You got like.
It's what I need.
I like this floor too. It looks really good.
Put outlets in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I could lay down. I love it.
What else does a guy need to hear?